Visual Intelligence Part 3 Charts. By clicking this Visualize button, we can get into the screen where we can create different charts. Creating charts in Visual Intelligence is all by dragging and dropping or right-clicking. We're not creating a single piece of code, or we're not looking at a single piece of code. So for example, if I right-click on a gross margin and hit Add to Chart, it knows exactly where the gross margin is supposed to go. I can do the same thing, right-click on the country and hit Add to Chart, and it knows exactly where it needs to go. Here I'm looking in the world map, my gross margin by country. I can zoom in and out by scrolling the mouse. Or I can also use these plus and minus button on the screen. I can overlay the data by year and it creates a chart. I can look at the same thing into bar charts. Get rid of the country, move the year over. I'm looking at gross margin by year. I can add more data to it. For example, sales revenue, discounts. If I want to look at by region or compare it by region, I can add a region to this trellis and it breaks down the data for each year for each region. Everything what we are creating is dragging and dropping. For example, I just want to see the data for 2 years. So I can take the year, drop it into this filter, click on this arrow, and let's say I just want to see the data for 2011 and 2010. Add, close. Now I'm just looking at the data for 2 years. I can save this visualization and it adds at the bottom panel. There are many kind of visualization you can create with this tool. Line charts, pie chart, bubble chart, heat map. Let's get rid of the region and let's look at some line charts. I can also do calculations here. So if I want to look at gross margin running sum, I can do running sum. I can do running average. Again, we're doing all this without looking at any piece of code. Save it. We can also start from scratch by hitting this reset. Let's look at some pie charts. Let's see year and quarter, and I want to know quantity sold. So I'm looking at quantity sold by year and quarter. I can add sales revenue to the pie depth, and it tells me now what's my sales and revenue versus my quantity sold. I can do the same thing in a bubble chart. So now I'm looking at for each quarter what my quantity sold was and my sales revenue. Let's replace year and quarter by country. So here I'm looking at my sales revenue and quantity by all the countries. I can click on a country and it highlights it in the legend. I can click on it and hit exclude. The graph adjusts by itself. I can also select a particular set of data and hit filter. Again, the graph adjusts by itself. I can hit save. Anytime if I want to go back all these filters, I can just remove it at the bottom and the graph goes back. I can hit save again. I can also look at the data into tabular format. Here also I can create calculations. So if I want to create running average, I want to create running sum. So all the things which we are doing is without looking at any piece of code. I can also do ranking. So I can do rank values. I just want to see top 5, let's say. It gives me top 5. There are other charts like heat map. I can also look at heat map. Let's remove that ranking. I can overlay this heat map by city and it breaks it down. I can look at the tree map. There are all other kinds of map like radar, box plot, waterfall, and tag cloud.